Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and wow, what an interesting Thanksgiving, huh? I mean, it's just, well, what an interesting Thanksgiving, huh? Yeah, I guess if anything, yeah, I think we can all agree that it's actually quite an interesting one for sure. Sure, I mean, there are some that had a good time, others just fell a bit down for sure because of certain things for sure, but hey, I'm sure we're all past that about now for sure, but yeah, I guess if anything, now that that's over and done with, and especially since after Black Friday, it's back to business as normal, and I guess if anything, in my perspective right about now, I guess in terms of getting myself back in business for sure, I think we can mostly agree I really need some Disney right about now. So, yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I need right about now, So yeah, I guess if anything for today's thoughts video, I guess ever since a couple of weeks ago when I had an emotional roller coaster with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, oh excuse me, I think it makes sense that we should probably go back to something a little bit more somber for sure, but, or should I say, or is it sober? Yeah, I'm gonna say sober. So yeah, we're definitely gonna go back to something a little bit more sober for once for sure. So yeah, and I guess for, if anything, seeing how it is Disney we're going to be talking about, that's right, we're actually going to be diving into, of course, a brand new animated feature film from, of course, Disney for sure, So yeah, I guess it's no big surprise that I'd be talking about a brand new animated Disney movie for this thoughts video for sure, and it's actually for good reason for sure, because yeah, I guess, if anything, I definitely know last year we definitely had a ball with, of course, not one, but two, animated Disney movies that, we, got last year with, of course, Raya and the Last Dragon and Encanto for, sure, So yeah, I think, I guess for what it is, I think, I guess for this year, since we're only going to be talking about one animated Disney film for sure, and that's not counting all the other films that Disney is actually putting out, which is definitely saying a whole lot for sure, but hey, I guess if anything, one is definitely good enough for sure, and it's quite interesting as well, because we definitely know right around next year, pretty much Disney in general will be celebrating over 100 years right about now, So yeah, that's actually quite interesting for sure. I never expect Disney to actually make it to that major milestone for next year for sure. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what they'll do for next year to mark exactly 100 years for sure. But before we actually do get to that for sure, I guess this movie may actually give us a bit of an early peek on, of course, what we're going to be in for, but still actually give us something really interesting nonetheless. So yeah, and I guess with their latest animated feature film that just came out right about now, I think it is, of course, something that we're going to be in for right about now. So yeah, I guess enough about me yapping out right about now. We might as well dive into this review right about now. So yeah, for today's thoughts video right about now, we're going to be diving into, of course, the latest animated feature film from, of course, Disney to actually kick things off right about now, but actually, an early start right about now, but regardless, it's still an interesting one to look at, and yeah, I guess if anything, we might as well dive into their latest animated feature film that had just came out not too long ago, which is none other than Strange World. So yeah, I guess if anything, I know for sure I could have actually done it around the time it came out for sure, like I did with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. But I got way too hectic and got way too busy with other things, seeing how, well, it is, of course, Thanksgiving, and I need to get some things off my chest for sure, But hey, I'm glad I'm doing it right now for sure, just to finally get things going right about now, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. sorry you had to see that, so... Whew. Got part of me a little wet right about now, so... Sorry about that, so yeah, I guess, right about now, for today's movie right about now, honestly, I think I didn't know what to expect for sure, because, yeah, I think for this, for this animated Disney movie to actually try to do something that it's never been done for sure, that can be a bit of a challenge for sure, but then again, I actually, I guess if anything, seeing how I do always look forward to a brand new animated Disney movie each year for sure, I mean, yeah, I think I do love their regular formula of course, pretty much having their own spin on classic fairy tales for sure, but also try to do something more on the lines like pretty much a bit more like a musical for sure. Those are actually really like with the typical Disney formula for sure. But then again, I'm actually also quite thrilled for the fact that aside from, of course, the regular formula, they actually try to do something new with their animated feature films just to help mix things up a bit for sure. To which I won't lie, I think with the amount of animated Disney films that I've actually seen for quite a long time now, many of them actually turned out very, very well for sure, and yeah, many of them I actually do like for sure, So yeah, I think if anything, I think it's always quite interesting to, of course, see Disney try to do something new with their animated feature films to help mix things up a bit. And I guess in the case of this movie, I think it is more on the lines of exactly that for sure. And I'm even quite surprised that it's actually taking up a lot of inspiration from, of course, pulp magazines for sure to help craft this movie together, to which... Yeah, I won't lie, I think as someone who actually never read any pulp magazines for sure, let alone have actually existed during their time for sure, I'm actually intrigued of course, what they're gonna do for sure to see if they can actually do something creative for sure, and, well, judging by from what I saw in the trailers, it does look like it's actually quite interesting for sure, so yeah. And I guess for what it is, I think I guess for the case of this movie, I think it's pretty much what I need right by now. So yeah, and of course earlier this afternoon, I have of course got the chance to actually go and see the film for myself. Once again, thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, because, well, when is there a time where they haven't been so kind to me? Exactly. So, yeah, I guess, if anything, I've decided to head on over there to, of course, go and see this film for myself, and, well, it looks like I just got back from, of course, seeing it not too long ago, and I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I got the chance to see it? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I say for what it is, I think it's good. Not great, just good. I mean, okay, I think I wouldn't necessarily say it's on par like pretty much the previous Disney films that came out beforehand, like, of course, Zootopia and, of course, Raya and the Last Dragon, but on its own, I actually do think it is good for sure. Not necessarily the best I've actually seen from Disney by far. In fact, I dare even say it's almost one of their weaker films in recent years for sure, but on its own, I do think it's actually a pretty good film for what it is, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright, so now that I've got the short version out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for, of course, this film. First off is, of course, the story, and I won't lie, I think parts of the story, I have to say, pretty much is, of course, probably one of those stories that you can probably gather for sure, even if you've actually seen the trailers for sure. But to me, personally, Yeah, I think I will admit parts of the story has been done before in other movies, but stepping aside from all that, I actually do like the idea for, of course, the story for what it is, and it actually offers some really unique and interesting ideas that they want to throw into, of course, all of it to actually make it all the more engaging, and I know parts of it I was actually fully engaged for sure, and I'm actually impressed with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. But then again, if anything, the other parts, on the other hand, I wish could have used a bit more rewriting for sure, because, yeah, I think if anything, probably one of the story lines that we've seen in other movies that had, I definitely know this movie has actually done for sure is, of course, pretty much have pretty much the whole father and son type of relationship for sure, to which, yeah, it's definitely one of those story ideas for sure, so, but hey, stepping aside from all that for sure, again, I actually do like the unique and interesting ideas that they want to throw into the mix for sure, to actually try its best to actually make it all the more incredible to watch, and yeah, I think parts of it I didn't really care for sure, but the others I have to say I was actually intrigued on, of course, what goes on for sure. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best for sure, but I do think the story is actually really nicely crafted for sure, and actually does offer some unique and interesting ideas that they want to throw into the mix. So yeah, that's actually what I can say for the hag, and of course another thing I should mention right but now, the writing I have to say, yeah, I will have to admit, I don't think it's necessarily the best I've actually seen for sure, as I do think a good chunk of the film's writing I do think is massively off for sure, but again, I think I will give it credit. The hag did try its best to, of course, pretty much step away from, of course, all that, and actually try to do something quite interesting for sure. And yeah, I can't give it credit. The parts of the film are, of course, written very well, and I'm actually intrigued, of course, what goes on for sure. So yeah, maybe I wish there could have been a little bit more tweaking into, of course, the film's writing. I dare even say the entire script for this could have, maybe used, maybe one or two more drafts for sure to make it all the more incredible. But hey, I'm assuming the people crafting this movie did do their best to work with the material they've actually been given for sure. So yeah. Yeah, I will have to say, it may be a bit off, but I do think the writing for this film is actually done fine for sure, and is, again, crafted well fine for sure, so yeah. And of course, on top of all that, pretty much of anything, from what I can gather right up and now, the comedy, I have to say, well, I don't think it's necessarily the best for sure, but I can give it credit that I didn't necessarily laugh at the good amount of jokes, but I did snicker a few times for sure, to which, yeah, I guess it's close enough for sure. Not really a full laugh, but a snicker's good enough for me. So yeah, those are, of course, what I can say for, of course, those aspects for sure. Yeah, I will admit they are a bit off for sure, and could have used a bit more fine-tuning for sure, but on their own, I say they are fine as what they are for sure, and I'll give them credit for at least trying their best to actually make it all the more incredible for sure, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright. Alright, so now that I've got those out of the way, I guess I might as well go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I should talk about, which are, of course, for starters, the characters, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think the characters in, of course, this film, I won't lie, I actually am fully intrigued with, of course, all these characters for sure. Every single one of them I've actually seen on screen. They do have their own personality traits and have a really great sense of development for sure. So by seeing them on screen, I actually do find myself rooting for all these characters and actually see on what direction they're willing to take for sure. sure. Probably, I think a good example is, of course, two of the ones that I can think of is, of course, pretty much Jaeger Clade and of course his son Searcher for sure. Now Jaeger, I have to say, he's fine for what he is, just a typical dad who is pretty much overbearing on himself and wanted to pretty much carry out, of course, his mission and carry that over to, of course, one of his family members, while his son Searcher, on the other hand, is probably wanting to do something different, but also is having a hard time trying to conflict to, of course, what he needs to do for sure. So yeah, and of course seeing them on screen for sure, sure it does take time to, of course, pretty much establish on, of course, who they are for sure, and how their relationship actually blooms over by the time the movie is over. But hey, I still think they actually did do their best with, of course, what they got for sure. So yeah, and of course, the rest of the characters, I have to say, again, they're fine as they are. They each have their own personality traits, and again, they actually do have a good sense of development for sure. They don't just throw that out there. They actually take their time to actually do exactly that for sure, which I'm actually impressed with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, that's actually what I can say for, of course, the characters for sure. But, of course, all the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I will have to say, they actually did pull off some pretty good performances for sure. There was never one moment where, of course, I do think they're off on, of course, what they're doing. No, they actually carried out their performances actually pretty well for sure. And I'm impressed with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. And again, I think I guess on subject of course, the couple of characters that I mentioned, Jaeger and Searcher, that's another thing I should mention for sure. In fact, I think the one character that I really got a good sense of it is, of course, pretty much Searcher, who is, of course, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, to which, yeah, I will have to say, Gyllenhaal's performance in this film, I have to say, is actually really quite impressive for sure, and yeah, I know that's definitely saying a whole lot because I did really like a good number of Jake Gyllenhaal's work in the past for sure. And I guess if anything, this movie actually does carry out a really good performance from him for sure. And it's hard to believe that Jake Gyllenhaal finally got to doing animated Disney films. So there we go. So yeah. And of course, on top of all that, I always do get a good kick out of course, pretty much Searcher's father, Jaeger, who's of course played by Dennis Quaid. And yeah, pretty much of anything, Dennis Quaid, I have to say, I may not be a huge fan of his work for sure. In fact, I've barely seen any of his work for sure. But I say for what it is, Dennis Quaid actually does carry out a very fine performance in, of course, this film for sure. Yeah, just being a regular old charismatic dad who is wanting to have a good relationship with his son, but is having a hard time doing so about now. So yeah, those are the only two actors that I can say are actually that actually do give out some pretty good performances. The rest, on the other hand, again, I still think they are good as they are for sure. They did pull off some pretty good performances for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, both the characters and the actors for sure, they really did a fine job with what they're doing, and actually did give off some really good stuff for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright. Okay then. So now that I've got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about with, of course, this film? Well, quite a whole lot, actually. For starters, seeing how this is an animated Disney movie, I think I should mention the animation for sure. And yeah, I won't lie, I think the animation of course, this film my God, it is just absolutely amazing for sure. Everything from, of course, what I'm actually seeing for sure, it just looks absolutely incredible for sure. And that's actually the one thing I really do love about pretty much the animation in animated Disney films for sure. They actually do carry out, of course, a really good style they want to work with for sure. And in the end, actually does look really impressive to look at on screen for sure. And this movie actually is a good case of course, doing exactly that. Pretty much from the way the characters actually look and how they move is just absolutely incredible for sure. Though parts of it almost does kind of feel like pretty much, well, a cartoon for sure, but I digress. But the entire world that I have to say is all the more impressive to actually look at for sure, and that's actually one of the other things I should like, of course, this film for sure, is that I really do love the really nice world building that they've actually established for sure. Yeah, and I know that's definitely saying a whole lot, because I have praised other films with some excellent world building for sure, which, yeah, I know it's saying a whole lot. I do like pretty much types of media that has excellent world building for sure, and this movie is actually no exception for sure. Pretty much the way, pretty much the entire world they actually showed off in this film is all the more impressive to actually look at for sure. I know that's definitely saying a whole lot, given to, of course, I really do like some excellent world building, and of course, pretty much some nice TV shows like, of course, Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and of course other films such as Lord of the Rings, and even some recent ones like Shang-Chi, and plenty of others that I can't list at the top of my head. And let's not forget to mention some really nice video games as well, like, of course, pretty much, like, of course, Genshin Impact, and that's among other things I can say about now. So yeah, I guess if anything, this movie actually is a really good case for some excellent world building for sure through the animation for sure, and it's actually really impressive to look at. And on top of all that, I really do love the way, of course, the really nice, pretty much the way the visuals and the effects actually look for sure, to actually make it all the more incredible to witness, and actually blend in well to, of course, the entire world, as well as, of course, the animation for sure. And of course, on top of all that, I really do love the really good sense of color that they actually throw into it for sure. They didn't actually stuck with just one or two colors to make it all the more dull and boring. No, they actually went all out. They actually went all out, of course, all of the hang, and it's actually really impressive to look at. I really do love the good sense of color that they actually throw into, of course, this movie, and it's actually all the more impressive to actually look at. So, but yeah, I guess with all those, I have to say that's actually how much I actually really love the animation in, of course, this film. It is, of course, absolutely incredible as always. I mean, come on. Is there ever a time where, of course, there was one animated Disney movie where the animation is bad? Of course not. So yeah. I guess it's what I can gather over happen now. And plus, another that, I also want to give a credit that he actually does have some pretty decent direction from, of course, well, the film's director, Don Hall, to which, yeah, I know he's actually done a lot of good stuff in the past for sure, and I guess in the direction of course, this film, I will have to say, is passable for sure. I mean, okay, maybe I think some parts of it are a little bit misdirected for sure, but I still think Don Hall actually did a fine job with some really good direction in, of course, this film. And yeah, like I said, it is passable for sure. So yeah, and of course, if anything, I really do love on how well this film is scored through some really nice music they actually played for sure. And yeah, it actually fits in well with, of course, what goes on through the characters and everything else that goes on in each scene for sure. So yeah, I actually do get a good kick out, of course, the film's musical score for sure, and it's actually really impressive to actually look at for sure. So yeah. And of course, I really do love the incredible cinematography for sure, as Yeah, I will have to admit, maybe I think some are a little bit off, but I do think they actually did pull off some really good camera shots they actually throw into it for sure. And of course, in terms of the film's aiming, I have to say, I will admit, maybe some parts of it I think are a bit off for sure, but I do think they are caught up pretty well. Like, I'm actually impressed with, of course, what I've actually seen for sure, So yeah, I guess with all those aspects that I've actually said, that's how much I actually really like this movie for sure. But most importantly is that I can't give it credit that maybe I think with a little bit more proper execution for sure, I think this movie actually really does a fine job in giving us some really unique ideas they want to throw in for sure, which actually makes it all the more incredible to look at. And yeah, if anything, it actually does make this movie good, but not necessarily great either, but still good nonetheless. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. All right. Oh dear. All right. So I guess if anything, that's actually how much I actually really like this movie for sure. Again, not great, but still good nonetheless. However, if I do have one major problem that I actually do have with, of course, this film, aside from, of course, a few other nitpicks that I've actually mentioned, of course, this film for sure, is that pretty much on the subject of course, the film's aiming, I have to say, the transitions, on the other hand, well, let's just say I really don't think this film is actually really good at some really good transitions for sure, because if anything, if you actually know me, who has, of course, reviewed movies in the past for sure, I think, if anything, in terms of film transitions, is that, well, when you do a transition, you actually have to do something that actually, well, transitions to something. And I guess this film actually does that, but a little bit too fast for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, if you actually seen this movie for yourself, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about for sure. But to best describe it for sure is that I think film transitions are, of course, made to, of course, just pretty much actually dissolve to the next scene for sure, while also taking some time from, of course, the previous scene that you've actually seen for sure. But I guess in the case of this movie, on the other hand, it does do that, but a little bit too fast for sure. Like, there's literally not enough time to actually catch your breath from, of course, seeing one scene for sure. Pretty much the entire scene just completes itself, and then whoop, on to the next scene as quickly as possible, to which, yeah, I have to say, that's actually the main problem I actually do have with, of course, this film for sure. This film actually does do a fine job with some transitions, but a little bit too fast on, of course, all that for sure. So yeah, there's clearly not enough time to actually catch your breath for sure. It just zips by to the next scene as quickly as possible for sure, just to help fill in that hour and a half long running time for sure. So yeah. Yeah, I guess if anything, there are some movies that do go by fast and actually do it much better. And I don't think this movie is actually a good casing, of course, doing exactly that. So yeah, that's actually the main problem I actually do have with of course, this film. The rest, on the other hand, still did a fine job regardless. So yeah, I guess overall, I don't necessarily think it's actually a good. I don't necessarily think it's actually a great film by all means, but overall, Strange World is actually a really good movie on its own for sure, and actually does provide some really nice and unique ideas that they want to throw into it for sure, and in the end actually is, of course, taking a nice journey to that is definitely worth exploring, no pun intended. So yeah. And I know that's definitely saying a whole lot because, well, I have seen much better animated Disney movies for sure, but yeah, I guess if anything, in terms of its animation lineup, this is probably one of the more weaker films in recent years, but on its own, I still think it's actually good for sure. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's actually on par, like, say, Zootopia or Raya for sure, but I still think it's actually a good one that's definitely worth checking out for sure. So yeah, and I guess the best way I can describe this movie, pretty much in my personal perspective for sure, is that think of it as a pretty much a unique amusement park attraction that you decide to go on, and by the time it's all over, the only thing you can say is, well, it's not necessarily great, but I'm glad I got onto it, and the overall ride experience is actually good. And I think this movie is actually that pretty much that unique amusement park ride overall for sure. Not necessarily great, but I'm glad I actually got a chance to see it, and I still think it's worthy enough to say it's actually, well, good for sure. So yeah, that's actually what I can describe this movie overall. So yeah, I guess if you are willing to, of course, take that for what it is, then by all means, more power to you. In fact, I definitely know, I definitely know kids would actually like this movie a whole lot more than adults for sure. But hey, that's actually fine for sure. I have my taste, you have yours, and that's fine. So yeah. I guess if anything, this movie is not necessarily great, but I do think it's actually a pretty good one for sure. And that is why, for my final score, I'll definitely be fair on this one, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as my final score. So yeah, as pretty much the recent entry into, of course, the line of animated Disney films, it is weak, yes, but on its own, I do think it's actually a good, but not necessarily a great ride for me to go on for sure. And I guess if anything, the only thing I can say, however, is that it's still actually worthy enough to say I'm actually glad I got to see it for sure. So yeah, I guess it's what I can say overall for A Strange World for sure. But I guess if anything, now that I got all that's done, I guess if anything for Disney right about now, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do for, of course, next year for sure. I mean, yeah, for them to mark exactly 100 years since they first started out for sure, I'm excited to see what they'll do next year for sure. I mean, yeah, I think in terms of their movies, they are going to have their ups and downs right by now. In fact, if anything, I already guess on what I think they're going to, what their ups are going to be and what their downs are going to be. But, yeah, but yeah, I think if anything, as long as, of course, the ups are, of course, the main factor rather than the downs for sure. And trust me when I say, I definitely know that there are going to be some downs that are going to come our way. Live-action Little Mermaid remake. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do for next year to mark exactly 100 years for sure. Will it be a great milestone, or will it be a more down-to-earth and somber letdown for sure? Only time will tell on that for sure. But for now, I say Disney is, of course, right on track to see what their future will have in store next, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do for 2023 next year. So yeah, I guess it's what I can say on that. And oh yeah, which reminds me, if you actually do plan on going to see Strange World for yourself, definitely be on the lookout for their new logo at the opening of the film. Trust me when I say you won't be disappointed by that. So yeah. Alright, and I guess on that thought, that'll do exactly that. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and let me know in the comment section below if you have seen Strange World and what you thought about it, as well as, of course, leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, as always, feel free to send me an email if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up sometime in the near future. Follow me on my social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty of other social media sites I have provided if you want to keep up to date with me, with, of course, the links down in the description box below. And, of of course, support me on Patreon if you want to see sneak peeks to videos that I got coming up in the near future, as well as some other awesome rewards that will help fit into your budget. And if you enjoyed today's video, then give it a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And speaking of my channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and select all notifications if you want to see more videos like this coming up in the near future. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and yeah, now that I've actually got pretty much this movie out of the way, I might as well get myself prepped up for, of course, that long-awaited Avatar sequel that we're going to be getting. But until that happens, if I can get a second ramp out now, so, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I think I might as well get that on. I think we might as well, pretty much, I guess until that actually does happen, I think we might as well be prepared to, of course, return to, of course, the MCU on Disney Plus, right about now, as, of course, we'll be meeting up, yeah, as, of course, we'll be seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy once again, but with a little bit more of a holiday flair for sure. So yeah, I guess you can see where I'm going at with, of course, what I'll be talking about next. But until that actually happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and ho ho ho!